So we got to also understand that failure is a part of life. Failure is good for all of us. Sometimes you got to get your butt kicked a little bit so you can get back into the reality of things and humbling yourself and working a little bit better so that quit doesn't exist.
But do you have the guts to fail? Here's my second point about failure. If you don't fail, you're not even trying.
And work hard. Otherwise, at the end of your life, you'll wind up cold, stony broke. You got to be better than a good worker. You got to be a good reader.
You can't win every time. Everything you want doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get it. Because that need and you being able to humble yourself all kind of goes together. And in reality, you will figure out just how bad and how serious you are when it comes to what it is you truly are seeking. Because if you truly want to get to a level in your life, you're gonna have to fail.
Well, should I give you the cup back?
Oh yes, you should give it back to me because you know that is my cup and it should be given back to me.
I didn't get the job. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition and the next audition and the next audition. I prayed. I prayed and I prayed. But I continued to fail and fail. But it didn't matter because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're gonna get a haircut. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break.
You're gonna have to almost fail miserably. But when you fail miserably, it doesn't mean that you're done. It doesn't mean that it's over. So if you quit, you cannot come back from it. It's like starting everything over. How many times you've heard people say, hey, look, it's okay to start over. There's nothing wrong with starting over. I believe that starting over is not the way to go. But I do believe starting up is the right way to go. It's the best thing you can do. Maybe you got to just slow down a little bit, take a breath, and get focused again. Get back on track again. See the significance of what it takes to be the best that you can be within yourself. But you cannot quit. I know that I've been through these challenges so many times in my life. Being the man that I am today, I had to go through the hardship first, and I'm still going through challenges. But I will not quit.
Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. So someone talked about it. Won the Tony Award. And I didn't have to sing, by the way. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater. It was at the same theater that I failed that first audition 30 years prior. The point is, every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed.
Inky, nobody goes to college with crumbs. So that's right up the street from my house. So many people asked me that same question and made that same statement that I became numb to it. Until one day we're riding down Memorial Drive and I'm in the car with my mother, a Buick Regal, hubcaps off the car, seats torn up, car just beat up. And we're riding by Crim and my mother looks over at me and she says, son, do you want to go to college? I said, yes, ma'am, I'm going to college. I'm going D1. She said, what high school do you want to go to? I said, I'm going to Crim. She said, Ink, the chances is slim to none. I said, it's right up the street from my house. I said, they got my mother believing that? I said, now I gotta go.
Get around successful people and listen. Now, you can also learn from unsuccessful people. Take notes on both, negative and positive. On the negative, the notes are called what not to do. And you got to learn what not to do as well as what to do. So learn from the negative as well as the positive. Okay? Find out what poor people read and don't read it. Right? That's good information. Learn from the negative. But now you can also learn from the positive. Get around successful people. Listen to what they say. Listen to how they say it. It's important. We've all got about 16 waking hours.
And the first day I got to the doors, there were cops at the door. They're searching kids like we're going into a prison. They got metal detectors. They're searching kids from the crown of their head to the bottom of their feet. You got to hold out your arms. You got to look up at the ceiling. And I'll never forget, I stepped to the door, I'm getting searched. I got my arms out. I got my head up. He gets to my feet, and he's coming back up my body. And he poses the question, what's your plan, little man? I said, man, I'm going to D1. I'm going to college. He said, you'll probably end up in cell block D1. He went to walk off. I walked with him. I tapped his arm. Turned around. So you got the wrong guy. He said, no, I know about you. Sarcasm kicks in. He said, didn't you have two uncles that came to the same school? Said, yes, sir. He said, weren't they little athletes just like you? Like people talked about them and how they could play sports and all that? I said, yes, sir. He said, aren't they serving 13 and 40 years at the federal penitentiary, not even 10 minutes away from these front doors? I said, yes, sir. He said, absolutely. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You'll probably end up in cell block D1.
Practice listening those 16 hours. And I say practice listening because listening isn't easy. I found out it's easier to talk than it is to listen. But if you will practice listening the 16 hours you're awake, sure enough, from surprising sources comes great ideas. In sales training, we teach, if you want to learn sales, listen to the kids. Kids have got to be the master salespeople of all time. They have no equal. Father tells his young son, no, you cannot have an ice cream cone. 30 minutes later, he's licking on one. That'd be 30 minutes worth listening to. They got moves you wouldn't believe. Persistence runs deep like the ocean. And the kids never took a class on how to overcome objections. They already know how. They don't need classes. So listen and learn. Now, here's some of the best advice I've got for the whole evening. It won't get any better than this. This is it.
Walked off. I walked with him. I tapped his chest. Turned around. I said, I'm telling you, you got the wrong guy. He said, we'll see. I said, we will. And when I got my scholarship from Tennessee, you know, the first person I went to see, that cop, I went to him and he said something to me and it rang so true. I slid my paper across the table to him and he stood up and he said, I want to ask you a question. How did you do it? He said, every kid that comes in these doors, they say that, but they end up selling drugs across the street at the gas station. Or they end up going to prison, going to jail. Like everybody wants something out of life. He said, the reason I said that to you, he said, I want you to understand something. I'm here every day. He said, you see me in this school every day protecting, stopping fights. He said, the only reason I said it to you, he said, I wasn't even trying to break you. I said it to you to see would you be willing to fight for what you said you wanted.